Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tarot and the Star. I am your host, Melody. We're going to be doing like a ghost box reading on more mysteries, like from historical time frame. But what we're going to do for today's reading is we're going to ask questions of the famous painter Vincent Van Gogh. He was a Dutch painter that was born March 30th, 1853, and died July 29, 1890 in France. Vincent Van Gogh was 37 years old when he shot himself. And he died shortly after that. He was being taken care of by his brother Theo and his brother Theo's wife. And they were providing for Vincent, as Vincent was a poor painter. He painted many paintings, but he didn't make much money in his lifetime from his paintings. He only sold 2 paintings in his lifetime. His paintings are, as you know, worldwide, and they are millions and millions of dollars now. Now, I want to ask Vincent a couple of questions, more like an interview session. When I look at Vincent's picture, I feel for Vincent. I feel sad because he was a lonely person. He suffered from mental illness. And, towards the end of his life, he just didn't want to be a burden to his brother Theo. So that's why he killed himself. So I do want to ask Vincent some questions. He also apparently, they were saying at some point in his life, he had cut his ear off. Because he went mad, but that could very well have been from another artist. So, let's clear up some things about Vincent and also let Vincent know about his artwork today. See if he knows that his artwork is, has become worldwide. I wonder if Vincent even knows this. So let's get into it, and we will contact him through Ghostbox. Spirit guides of Vincent Van Gogh, that was born March 30th, 1853, and passed away July 29, 1890. Can one of you, or if you, the spirit guides that are around Vincent that can speak English, can translate for him, or if he's able to speak now in English language and understand and interpret what I'm saying, please come forward. I would like to ask you some questions as an interviewer, and also inform you on some things. We are in the year 2024 now, Vincent. Spirit guides of Vincent Van Gogh, a wonderful painter that you are, Vincent. If you can understand what I'm saying in English, can you come forward and speak with us today? I would like to ask you some questions as an interviewer. Vincent Van Gogh, I understand that you painted Starry Night and many other works of art that are so beautiful. Vincent, do you know that your paintings now sell for millions of dollars now?
Saturday.
Vincent Van Gogh, I understand that you are very lonely in your life. I see that in some of the pictures that you've painted. It makes me feel like I'm picking up on the loneliness of you. I want you to know, Vincent, that you are very beloved by the people and by the art society, by many artists alike. They love your work, Vincent.
Runway. Pretty cool.
Vincent Van Gogh, I was reading somewhere that your painting, The Starry Night, it's like you were painting it with the weather in mind. Is that true? That you kind of had an understanding of the pattern of the weather?
And out of the
Vincent Van Gogh, are you with your brother Theo now? I understand that you are both buried next to each other in the cemetery. Vincent Van Gogh, I come to you as a friend and as an interviewer, trying to learn a little bit more about you, as there's many people out there that want to know more about you. Have you seen your own work from heaven? Have you seen your own work in museums now across the world? Vincent Van Gogh, we understand that in your lifetime they were saying that you had cut your ear off because you were upset with a roommate. Is that true, or did the roommate cut your ear? Vincent Van Gogh, I want to say that your work is beautiful. It's beautiful and marvelous. You have made so many people inspired around the world. And I want you to know that you were a very gifted artist. And many people say that around the world about you. I hope that you do know that.
First week.
Vincent Van Gogh, I understand that you shot yourself, killing yourself, because you didn't want Theo and his wife to take care of you anymore. I don't know if that's true. But I'm asking you, when you shot yourself, did angels come for you, Vincent? Were you transitioned in heaven easily?
With what?
Vincent Van Gogh, would you say, okay, I'm going to name a couple of paintings for you, and you can just tell me just one word to describe which one is your favorite. Hold on really quick. Let me get all of your artworks out, and I'll name some of them for you. Okay. You have the Starry Night. You have the Potato Eaters. You have Wheat Field with Crows. Almond Blossoms. A Vase with 15. Cafe Terrace at Night. A Self-Portrait. I'm sure, Vincent, you have many more, obviously. I'm just looking at some of your paintings. You have so many. You have Night Cafe, The Yellow House, The Red Vineyard, The Sunflowers. You have sunflowers. Head of a Peasant. Can you tell me, Vincent, what would be your favorite out of all of these paintings that you've done? What's a one word to describe what your favorite painting is?
Welcome. It's an honor. Let's go.
Thank you, Vincent, if you've answered that question. I see here a couple of self-portraits, and you have a few people that posed for some of your paintings. I would say that perhaps my favorite painting that you've done, looking at all of your work, and this is only actually not even all your work, this is some of the work, but based on some of the work that I'm seeing here, I would say that my favorite one is a pair of shoes, because it looks very detailed here, and it looks as though it's shoes that you can just literally put on quite quickly. Vincent Van Gogh, I will go ahead and let you go now. I don't want to keep you too long. I know that you're in heaven now. I'm sorry that your life was very hard when you were living. And you didn't sell many paintings, and it was very difficult for you. And I know you were lonely, and it must have been devastating to be left alone as well. And I see, just based on your eyes and your self-portrait, I see that you took your work very seriously, but you were also plagued by mental illness, and I think you also had thoughts that people just weren't there for you. Can you tell me, how can you describe yourself, Vincent? What would be the best way to describe you as an artist, as somebody, just describing yourself so we can understand a little bit more about you? We love you, Vincent Van Gogh. Many people in the world love you, and we are inspired by your work. And we want you to know that. I wish you would have been alive to see that your work did sell, and it sold for some of the highest amount of money you can think of. And I want you to know that people, they look at your work and it's so valuable in our time now. You are very loved, Vincent Van Gogh, very loved by the people. Thank you so much for allowing me to interview you today, Vincent. It's a delight to be able to interview you and have some of these questions answered for the viewers that watch my show. I guess in your time you would consider it as a play in some sort, in which I'm introducing you as a main attraction. In our time, it's a little bit different, but the way I'm conducting this in our time is very similar to that way of thinking in your time. I'm introducing you as the artist and a little bit more about you, so people have an understanding of who you were and the kind of things that you liked, like what was your favorite painting out of all of them, and some of these questions that are very unanswered that have been unanswered for so many years. We love you, Vincent, and we wish you the utmost peace in life, and we are so thankful to have had you living in our time, on earth, and be able to paint all those paintings that we enjoy to this day. We love you, Vincent. Thank you so much. And we are ending the session with you, Vincent Van Gogh, and spirit guides of Vincent Van Gogh, and any other spirits that spoke on behalf of Vincent Van Gogh. We are ending this session with all of you. Thank you and goodbye. And for those of you listening to Tarot and the Star, I felt compelled to do Vincent Van Gogh today. I felt, maybe I felt the strong sense of the energy of Vincent Van Gogh, but I felt compelled for that one. A beautiful artist, very misunderstood. I think a lot of his thinking was in his mind too. It's like, over analyzing everything to the detail, that at times I think he didn't feel that he painted, beautiful paintings, that he felt it wasn't good enough, like he felt he wasn't good enough. Which is really sad because his paintings were really wonderful, but in his time he only sold 2 paintings, and he died a pauper, and he was poor. He was poor his whole life, and he had to borrow money to paint his paintings. He worked here and there, but it was sporadic. He had mental illness, and he was in a mental hospital many times. So it's quite tragic. Such a beautiful painter, that all of this had happened to him. But I wanted to ask him questions, but I wanted to also be very respectful of Vincent, because I do pick up he was a sensitive person as well, and quite beautiful in nature. Very introverted as well. But I wanted to respect him in that sense when I'm interviewing him. I don't want to ask him too many outlandish questions. Those were questions, some of them, that I did want to know, but there was a lot of outlandish things that people were saying in his time, and I didn't want to go into detail with that stuff. I just wanted to simply talk to him and let him know how much he was appreciated, and how he's beloved by the people. People do love his work. He's still quite a wonderful artist. And I will be touching with other artists, okay? It's not going to just be Vincent Van Gogh, but we have other artists that have passed away, and, we want to know more about them. Like, for example, Jean-Michel Basquiat, and Andy Warhol, and there's other ones, there's other artists that we do need to touch on. We do need to find out a little bit about their life, and or how they felt about their own work. That's what makes it interesting, and that's what kind of solves this mystery, is just learning a little bit more about these people. What did they envision as good work? What do they think about themselves? If they passed away, did they go peacefully? Did they know they were going to pass away? Some of them, it's baffling, We're going to get into more of these episodes with other artists as well as celebrities and, various people on the Unexplained, because this is unexplained. We have no idea their thoughts or what they thought, what their, how they were in life. Many of these people we don't know, especially those that have passed away many years ago, such as Vincent Van Gogh. We know very little on him. All we know is that he lived in a small place, and he went mad many times in his life and had to go to the mental asylum. And he lived with a roommate at one point that was also a famous painter, but that famous painter was somebody that was more, he was completely different in artwork than Vincent. And Vincent tried to really get along with this guy, and this guy thought that Vincent was just bugging him. Imagine, right? You think Vincent Van Gogh was bugging you. Imagine that. And Vincent Van Gogh is a really, really good artist. I mean, he's more famous than the other guy was, so I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me with Tarot and the Star. And we'll do more of these. I mean, it'll be fun to find out what other artists think. And, we'll get into it. I appreciate every single one of you. Always know that you're unique, you're special, you're wonderful, and you can be and do whatever you want to be and do. It's never too late for that, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye now.